Hello, and welcome back to Analyzing Awards with Analysis, the show where we use analysis to analyze awards. And we got some big shit going on right now. It's about little more than a week at the time of this recording until the Academy Award nominations are announced. They got pushed to the 19th because of that whole horrible situation in California right now with all the forest fires and whatnot. Um, But we have had a couple of big events, pre Oscar events that we should go over. Probably the most notable being the Golden Globes, which I was actually quite happy with this year. I mean, The Brutalist won drama, and I haven't seen The Brutalist yet, unfortunately, soon. But musical or comedy, um, an interesting choice. Not necessarily the choice I would have made. I preferred Honora. I preferred The Substance. Maybe even I preferred A Real Pain by a bit. But I think Amelia Perez is a very interesting movie, and I found a lot to admire in it. The fact that it won, that it beat Honora, which was, heavily favored to win here, and that it beat Wicked even, got me finally built up enough curiosity in me for me to get on Netflix and watch Amelia Perez, and I think it's a pretty fantastic movie. I can see why it would be divisive. It's a really bold film. It's not a traditional musical at all, but that's why I prefer it to something like Wicked, which is very, this is kind of a very standard kind of big, flashy, bombastic kind of Broadway musical. Amelia Perez does something really unique with the form, and I thought it was really cool. So yeah, once again, wouldn't have been my pick, but I respect it. I think it was a cool choice. Uh, Also, Flo winning animated feature was interesting. Uh, Everybody, just assumed the Wild Robot would kind of sweep the animated field this season, but it looks very close between Flo and Wild Robot. I assume Wild Robot will still win the Oscar, but it's a closer call than I was expecting. Adrian Brody winning for The Brutalist, is fine. I mean, this one was interesting. I'm Still Here was it's a movie by the guy who did um Motorcycle Diaries. Yeah, Walter Salles or Sayes or however you say it. Sayes, I don't know. But but yeah, he's a strong director. I haven't seen a ton of his movies, but yeah, I've seen Central Station. I've seen Motorcycle Diaries, seen Dark Water. He's an interesting filmmaker. So if I can get a chance to check out I'm Still Here, I am curious to give it a watch. But yeah, I was surprised here that I really had no idea who was going to win this category. None of them seemed particularly likely, but I was thinking Pamela Anderson might pull out a victory there. But no, this I was really excited for the winners, an actor and actress for musical or comedy. That Sebastian Stan won for A Different Man. That was a fantastic performance. I mean, very, very potent comedically, but also like very, very emotional. You could really empathize with his character and understand where he was coming from and really feel for him. And Demi Moore for The Substance. I'm super pumped that Demi Moore won. I couldn't be happier about that. I mean, Mikey Madison was wonderful in Honora. Amy Adams was fantastic in Night Bitch too. I recently watched Night Bitch, and it's definitely an interesting film. It's not what I was expecting, but it's quite good. But Amy Adams, I think it's her best performance since Arrival, probably, and one of the best she's ever given. And also Carla Sofia Gascon and Amelia Perez was fantastic. But I'm very happy that Demi Moore took it, and I would love it if she could win the Oscar as well. I don't think it's possible, but we'll see. Kieran Culkin winning for A Real Pain, that's to be expected. And Zoe Saldana winning for Amelia Perez is cool. I kind of thought, Ariana Grande would take it, but this is definitely the best performance I've seen Zoe Saldana give in a film. I thought, she was kind of maybe the highlight of a really, really good cast. So I was happy with that. Of course, I would have preferred that Margaret Qualley win, but what can you do? Was I just like doing this with my glasses? I don't know. I don't know. I need something. I need something to run through my fingers. I need to fidget. I don't know. I don't know what's up. Um, Director went to Brady Corbett, which once again I haven't seen it, but I was just happy that Coralie Farge got nominated. I've been calling her Coralie Fargett because I'm a stupid American. I think it's Coralie the Farge. I believe it's the French pronunciation there. Um, Best screenplay going to Conclave. I mean, it's a good screenplay. It's not what I would have picked. But Challenger's winning score, that makes sense. Once again, maybe not what I would have picked, but a good pick. And El Mal winning song. Now that I've seen Amelia Perez, I totally agree. That's probably the most awesome number in the movie. So I was pretty happy with this overall. There were a few curveballs, but I thought for the most part the surprises were very positive ones. It was kind of more of a mixed bag over here with the Screen Actors Guild Awards. Best Actor, pretty much exactly what you'd expect. Best Actress, also pretty boilerplate. Pamela Anderson got in there, Carlos Villegas got in there, and of course Mikey Madison and Demi Moore. It's a very strong lineup. It's a bummer that Amy Adams couldn't get in there too. She does deserve it, but Amy Adams is frequently snubbed for Oscars, so we'll see if that happens again. It probably will, because Night Bitch is a strange film. This was the big head scratcher for me on this one. Jonathan Bailey for Wicked. I mean, I thought he was fine in the film, but I don't see that performance as like being awards worthy. I thought it was fine. He played his role well. I mean, he did what he had to do, but I certainly wasn't blown away by it. So I found that kind of confusing. I mean, if you're gonna nominate a supporting actor for Wicked, why don't you nominate what's oh my god, oh my god, Jeff Goldblum. Why not nominate Jeff Goldblum? He was so entertaining in that role as the wizard. I mean, he wasn't even acting, he was just being himself. But he's so good at it. Just nominate Jeff Goldblum, nominate fucking Peter Dinklage as the talking goat. I loved Goat Peter Dinklage. What with Jonathan Bailey. Strange choice. And then for supporting actress, I believe this was Jamie Lee Curtis's first nomination of the season for The Last Showgirl, so that was a interesting addition. Um, yeah, and the performance by a cast. You will notice, much like the Golden Globes, Sing Sing is only getting like the cursory actor nomination. Didn't get a supporting actor nomination for Clarence Macklin. Didn't get an ensemble nomination. Yeah, kind of a bummer. But out of these casts, I hope Honora takes it. The ensemble cast in Honora was wonderful. They all played off each other so well. It'll probably go to Conclave, which is fine. There are a lot of really strong actors in Conclave. But yeah, that's what's been going on. That's what's been going on around here. I know there was somebody big missing. Well, let's go over to here, and it'll jog my memory. Let's go to the leaderboards, and of course, I am keeping track. If you saw the other two videos, basically what I'm doing is every time a film or a performance or a tech category, anytime there's a win, I award 3 points. Anytime there's a designated runner-up, I award 2 points. Anytime there's just a nomination, I award 1 point. So right now, Honora is still well out in front. Uh, you can see here the Substance is well in the top five now. Nickel Boys Sing Sing has fallen to sixth place currently, and then there are 10 films nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars. So let's see what those 10 would be as we currently stand. Conclave is, let's see, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So basically, those are the films that would guarantee to be in. If these were the votes and we stopped right here, and then Amelia Perez would would slide in there in the 10th spot just because it has a win. These stars designate wins. They're how I decide ties. But I saw the TV Lower Nosferatu is just a point away from overtaking Amelia Perez. So who's to say? Director Brady Corbett is well out in front, though Sean Baker. It's not an insurmountable um, gap to cover. But yeah, Coralie Farge, number 4, very good to see, and Denis Villeneuve, who has been largely ignored by the major. Oh, that's no, that's how did I forget to talk about this? The Directors Guild of America also came out. I'm so terrible at this. Let's but we got to look at these. We got to look at these. These were interesting. Wow. Pardon me. All right. All right. All right. All right. Where the fuck by year? Yeah, give them to me by year, fuckers. There we go. All right. All right. Everybody calm down. It's going to be all right. Oh my god. Oh my god. All right, here we go. Here we go. So yeah, interesting. I mean, Sean Baker, Brady Corbett, as you'd expect. Edward Berger, as you'd expect. James Mangold has been like largely ignored this season, and Edward Berger, is not in our top 5 certainly. I mean, let's go through. Let's see who's missing. Ramel Ross for Nickel Boys, nowhere to be found. He's currently number 3rd in our ranking. Unfortunately, Coralie Farge, number 4. She did not make the DGA. Denis Villeneuve did not make the DGA. Then you got Edward Berger. Then we got John M. Chu for Wicked. He's currently ahead of Jacques Audiard for Amelia Perez. He didn't get nominated either. So it's an interesting group of nominees, And first time feature. It's nice to see Dee Dee get nominated. I still haven't seen Nickel Boys yet. Hopefully soon. But all right, back to the leaderboards. Leaderboarded up is okay. This is interesting. Adrian Brody is still leading for The Brutalist, but Coleman Domingo is definitely closing the gap here. He's only 4 points away. So Coleman Domingo, I would say, has been rising. Adrian Brody has, he's certainly doing very well, but we've seen a lot of Coleman Domingo support lately. That's all I'll say. We have a very clear top 5 here, which is the top 5 that's being nominated everywhere. Actress Mikey Madison is leading authoritatively. She's really kicking everybody's ass. But down here in the 5th slot, it's a little competitive between Nicole Kidman and Carla Sofia Gascon. We'll see what happens there. That Angelina Jolie, some people thought way back when that she'd get an Oscar for Maria because it was like a flashy biopic, but that does not seem to be panning out. Kieran Culkin is obviously going to win supporting actor. That's like a foregone conclusion at this point. There's Clarence Macklin still hanging into 3rd, even though he's missed some key nominations lately. And Denzel Washington, too. Denzel Washington didn't get nominated at SAG, I do not believe. So that's a shame. He was wonderful in that movie. Maybe he did get nominated at SAG, and my brain is just broken. I don't think he did. This was nice to see. We still have Ariana Grande at 1st up here, but Margaret Qualley is in 2nd place right now, tied with Zoe Saldana. So it's great to see support for those performances. I'm a big fan of both of those performances, especially Margaret Qualley, of course. And then we have a pretty definitive, at least, top 6 here. There's a pretty big gap between Ingenue Ellis Taylor and Isabella Rossellini and Natasha Lyonne there. Original screenplay still being led by Honora pretty definitively. Adapted screenplay still being led by Conclave even more definitively. Cinematography, Nosferatu is pretty far out ahead of The Brutalist. Editing, is pretty close, but Challengers is definitely taking a pretty good lead over Dune Part 2. Documentary feature No Other Land is still leading it, uh, and definitely widening the gap between it and Superman. Uh, Animated film The Wild Robot is definitively beating Flow now, which made it all the more interesting that Flow beat it at the Globes. All We Imagine Is Light is the leading international feature, which, as we saw in the Academy shortlist, cannot get an Academy Award nomination. So that is interesting. Score, as you would expect, is being led by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross for Challengers. El Mal is leading for Song, which, once again, now that I've heard it, I agree. Uh, Production design, Wicked, Nosferatu close behind, Dune Part 2, Brutalist close behind that. Visual effects, Dune Part 2 is running away with it. We knew it would be Dune Part 2. Costume design, Wicked, also running away with it. Makes sense. Sound design, Dune. Art direction, we still don't have a ton of data here, but Nosferatu has a narrow lead here in makeup. Substance, once again, not a ton of information, but Substance is leading it. And then Ensemble Cast, Conclave is definitively leading it here with 60 points. So basically, that's where we stand right now. People have, things. Some people have gone down, some people have gone up. You look at the rankings on Gold Derby here. Let's just pull those up just for fun. And you can see the way that the Globes and SAG and the DGA have kind of shifted things around a bit. I like to look at the expert predictions because I don't put as much stock in users or editors. I mean, they're experts for a reason, right? And basically we've got the Brutalist leading in the rankings, which is a new thing. Anora was the predicted winner for a long time, but since it got completely snubbed at the Globes, I think people are getting very nervous about Anora, as they should. I would love it if Anora won. It was a fantastic movie, but we saw a couple of years ago with Power of the Dog, that was the definitive front runner right up until the point where it didn't win Best Picture. So maybe Anora is this year's Power of the Dog. I don't know. But, you can see here, they're predicting the Substance is going to make it in. They're predicting that Sing Sing will make it in, but just barely. Nickel Boys has dropped below the top 10. So things are shifting. I always like to see what's the lowest on their list. Inside Out 2. I don't think that should be the lowest. Come on. I mean, it's an acclaimed film. Why? Best Actress. Best Actress, Mikey Madison is still the odds-on favorite, even though she lost the Globe. But Demi Moore is in number 2 right now. That's nice. That's nice to see. Actor, still pretty sure it's going to be Adrian Brody. That seems to be kind of open and shut at this point. And supporting actor, obviously also still open and shut for Kieran Culkin. Really, no chance of anybody surpassing him at this point, I don't think. Supporting actress, I think, is one of the most competitive categories of the year between Ariana Grande and Zoe Saldana. I really think either of them has a good shot at taking it. Maybe Zoe has a slightly better shot at it, just because it's more of a kind of artsy film, less of a crowd pleaser. The Academy does like to be artsy when they can, and kind of alienate most of the viewers at home. But yeah, I mean, I think that after what happened at the Globes, a lot of people are willing to just write off Anora right now and say that Anora is not going to happen. And I think it's a little early for that. I mean, as you can see in the rankings, Anora is still doing very well with critics groups. It's still leading Best Picture, with that aggregate score. So I don't think it's time to write out Anora. I think the Brutalist certainly has a good chance of taking it. I mean, just based on what I've heard, hopefully I'll be able to see it soon and I'll be able to confirm that, oh, my last video is done rendering. That's nice. But yeah, that is currently where we stand, and that's it for now. We will check in probably next time once the Academy Award nominations are out. Talk about what got nominated, what got snubbed. Uh, I look forward to seeing you then. Farewell.